Imagine waking up one morning in America and realizing that the Constitution you trust, the elections you believe in, and the freedom you take for granted almost disappeared, not because of a foreign invasion, but because of powerful men in expensive suits who believed democracy was bad for business. This is the true, shocking story of how the United States of America once stood dangerously close to dictatorship. In the early 1930s, America was drowning in the Great Depression. Banks collapsed, unemployment exploded, families lost their homes, and fear spread faster than hope. In this economic chaos, Franklin D. Roosevelt rose to power with his New Deal government programs designed to protect workers, regulate corporations, stabilize the financial system, and restore economic growth. For millions of ordinary Americans, it felt like a lifeline. For some of the richest and most powerful businessmen in the country, it felt like a threat. Behind closed doors, influential figures from major corporations, Wall Street banks, and elite social clubs began whispering a dangerous idea. They admired authoritarian leaders in Europe, men like Benito Mussolini, who promised order, stability, and profits without the inconvenience of democracy. To them, elections were unpredictable, labor unions were dangerous, and freedom of speech was bad for corporate control. What America needed, they believed, was strong leadership. Their plan was bold, secret, and terrifying. They wanted to overthrow President Roosevelt. The scheme, later known as the business plot, involved recruiting a respected American war hero to lead a private army of hundreds of thousands of veterans. This army would march on Washington, force Roosevelt to step aside, and install a temporary leader, someone who would rule with executive power while keeping the illusion of democracy alive. It would be a soft coup, wrapped in patriotic language, sold as a necessary move to save the nation from socialism, chaos, and economic collapse. The man they chose was Major General Smedley Butler, one of the most decorated Marines in U.S. history. Butler was famous, trusted, and loved by soldiers. The conspirators believed he would be loyal to wealth and power. They were wrong. Instead of accepting the offer, Butler did something extraordinary. He went straight to Congress and exposed everything. In sworn testimony before a congressional committee, he revealed names, meetings, money sources, and the full plan to undermine the democratic system of the United States. The nation was stunned. Newspapers reported the allegations. Investigations confirmed that the plot was real. Powerful interests had indeed discussed replacing democracy with authoritarian control. And yet no one went to prison. No major businessman was punished. The story quietly faded from headlines as America focused on recovery, war, and rebuilding. But the danger never truly disappeared. This story matters because it reveals a hard truth. Democracy does not collapse overnight. It erodes slowly, through fear, economic pressure, propaganda, and the belief that freedom is expendable for the sake of security, profit, or national stability. The business plot showed that even in the land of liberty, constitutional values can be threatened from within by corporate power, political ambition, and unchecked influence. Today, when Americans debate freedom, capitalism, government regulation, national security, and the role of corporations in politics, this forgotten chapter echoes loudly. It reminds us that democracy survives not because it is guaranteed, but because ordinary people, whistleblowers, and principled leaders choose to defend it. America did not become a dictatorship that day, not because it was impossible, but because one man refused to betray the Constitution. And that is why this nearly forgotten moment remains one of the most surprising, educational, and important stories in American history.